Hi, this is Munson with Munson Music, and we're talking about how you can play a song called Bring Me the Horizon by Pray for Plagues. And this is more kind of going for easy guitar if you were thinking of some ways to kind of cover this acoustic. So some of this tab actually isn't going to work out if you want to play it exactly like Pray for Plagues. You should probably go find a different video. But if you're just starting out on acoustic, actually, you could end up capoing this on 2nd fret and thinking a lot of A minor licks through the song. So the way you play A minor, first finger goes to the B string on the 1st fret, second finger goes to the D string on the 2nd fret, and third finger goes to the G string on the 2nd fret. And if you strum all those together, that sounds an A minor chord, and it sounds really, really sad. Although there are points in the tune actually where you may just want to use just the A and the D and the E string of that, and that sounds something called A5 or an A5 power chord. It sounds really, really powerful. There are some moments too where you may just want to play around with something called A sus2, where if you take the A minor and just lift off the 1st finger, if you strum all those together, that sounds something called A suspended 2nd or A sus2. And there are some moments in the song too where you may want to play around with A major. You may play A major. 1st finger goes to the D string on the 2nd fret, 2nd finger on the G on the 2nd fret, and 3rd finger on the B string on the 2nd fret. And if you strum all those together, that sounds an A major chord, and it sounds really, really, really happy. So there are some moments actually where you maybe just want to kind of play around with that. Now there are lots of really cool rhythm things through the song, and there are lots of different ways to kind of approach this. A lot of times, just for the feel of the tune, you may want to play around with kind of downs. And heavy downs can be very cool, actually doing right hand muting where you lay the flat of your right hand down on top of the strings too. Can be a very cool thing. There's some very cool hits where you would do kind of down ups and kind of kill it. So you may want to kind of think about that for like where those hits kind of happen. Or even just there's some big hits just where you may just want downs and then kind of throw your hand at the strings and kind of kill them. A lot of times with a song like this though in 4, I would use some different strum patterns to kind of support my voice. So if you're thinking of just kind of playing this out and figuring out some way to kind of play this song out for yourself, a lot of times I gravitate towards a down, down, up, up, down, up for 4/4 strum pattern. So this is playing against the tune a little bit, but it may kind of help you out just kind of feeling the beat. So you can kind of start out with kind of a down, down, up, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. It can be a very cool thing. You can also throw in the A string for your bass note if you wanted to kind of get some basses to kind of support your voice. So you have A with an A bass, down, up, down, A minor with A bass, down, up, down, up. Another strum pattern, especially later on in the tune that I would think about, is something called the 16th note strum pattern. And what I mean by that is right now, if you're tapping your foot at the beat, right now our down, down, up, is kind of dividing that into 2 parts. 1, 2, 1, 2, and that's called an 8th note. What a 16th note is where you divide that into 4 parts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And one of my favorite 16th note strum patterns to work with is a long down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, up. And what I mean by that is if you take A minor and do it down for 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's what you're doing on the 1st beat. Then on the 2nd beat, you're doing it down on 1, down on 3, up on 4. So you're going 1, 2, 3, 4, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up. And then on the 3rd beat, you're doing it up on 2, down on 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, up, down, 1, up, down, 1, up, down. And then on the 4th beat, you're going down, up, right along with the 1, 2, 3, 4. So down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. So all together, you got down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, up, down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, up, down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, up. Now, all kinds of really cool licks through the tune though. And at the very beginning, you could start out open A, and then 4th on the A, 3rd on the A, 1st fret on the A, open A, and then 4 on the A, 2 on the A, 1st fret on the A, and then open A, and then there's this cool lick that kind of comes in where you go 2nd fret on the G string twice, and then 1st fret on the G string twice, and then open B. So you got 0, 4, 3, 1, 0, 0, 3, 4, 2, 1, 0, and then you gotta have a big A minor hit. And And then there's this cool little lick where you play open A twice, and then 4 on the low E, and then 1st fret on the A string, and then open A twice, and then 4 on the low E twice, and then 1st fret on the A. So you're kind of going that A, C sharp, C, B flat, A, C sharp, C, B flat, A, G sharp, B, A minor, A, G sharp, B flat, A, G sharp, A sharp, or B flat. So you might want to kind of play around with kind of throwing some of those licks in too. And we're basically staying on A minor, and we got a lot more licks to kind of go over until on that verse part at the very beginning. You've got a couple other licks where you could go 2nd fret on the G, 1st fret on the B, 1st fret on the G, 1st fret on the or 2nd fret on the G, 1st on the B, 1st on the G string twice, and then 2nd on the G. So going A, C, G sharp, A, C, G sharp, A. It's kind of another lick that comes in. And there are some moments kind of where you kind of want to work those downs, or you might even want to kind of experiment, kind of trying to figure out ways to kind of work those licks around the chord. That's going to, especially if you're thinking of designing an acoustic version. You know, it could be kind of cool to kind of play around with getting the chord sounding around the licks. And then basically we're going to be on the A minor and on A minor licks until we get to kind of our bridge part. On our bridge part, we go from an A minor to an E flat major. One really easy way to play E flat major, you could go 1st finger on the G string 3rd fret, 2nd finger on the high E 3rd fret, and the 3rd finger on the B string on the 4th fret. And if you strum just the G, B, and E strings, that sounds like E flat major. So there's kind of one section where we're kind of going from the A minor to the E flat, open A, and then 2nd fret on the D, and then 1st fret on the D to kind of bleed into that E flat. And you could even kind of move that by octave by playing the open A, and then open E, and then 4 on the B string, and then later it goes to 3rd fret on the B string, and then 2nd fret on the B string. So that could be a cool lick to kind of try and bring out around the chord too. Try and find some ways to kind of get in that chord, the lick kind of around the chords. Could be a very cool idea. Or you may want to try that same bridge part kind of with that 16th pattern, kind of working it that way, kind of down, 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 A minor, E flat. But I really think the point of this lesson actually is kind of designing your own way to kind of try and cover the tune. Now the weird part is though, instead of starting on an A minor, Pray for Plagues is actually starting on an A minor chord. So to play along with the recording, what you want to do is take a capo, and if you put the capo on the 2nd fret, then now your A minor is really a B minor chord, and your E flat is really an F major chord. But if we took it from the very, very beginning, you may want to kind of start with kind of that intro lick. And then we got that 0 4 1, 0 4 1, kind of around the A minor. And then you could kind of work the A minor a couple different ways. You could just kind of work those downs kind of with the muting, or you could try and match the kind of that timing like through the recording. Trying to work kind of the down up killers, depending on how you're going to work the vocal part too. Or you could work down, down, up, down, up, and you have A minor down, down, up, down, A minor down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. Or you could work your bass down, up, down, up, you know, A minor, A bass down, up, down, 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 up. Or you could work the 16th pattern where you got the down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, up, down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, up, A minor, down, down, up, down, 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 A minor, down, down, up, down, down, up, down. Or if you're digging on the basses, you could add bass notes to that too. Am I doing bass, bass, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, or bass, bass, down, down, up, bass, down, up, down. Actually, it's kind of one of my favorites. kind of try and work those licks kind of around the chords. So we got kind of that 2 1 1 2 1 1 1 2 lick that you could kind of work around that way. Let's see. That bass lick too, and there's a couple other ones that turn up later on. We got kind of 2 1 2 1 1 1 on the B string, and then there's some other licks where you play open A, 4 on the low E, open A twice, 4 on the low E twice, and then go to 3rd on the A. So you're going A, G sharp, A, G sharp, G sharp, C, and you can almost kind of get that especially with the licks. You may want to try and work it down those. So kind of work your timing with those. And then there's another lick that turns up later on where we play open A, 3rd on the A, and then 1st fret on the D string, and then we go to low E on the 4th fret twice. And then we kind of do this kind of big A minor push, and then kind of 2 more A minors. 0 3 1 4 4 A minor. 0 3 1 4 4 A minor. And then there's kind of a return almost to our intro lick where we play 3rd on the A string, 1st on the A, open A, 4 on the A, 3 on the A, 1st fret on the A, and then open A is kind of a lick later on. 3 1 0 4 3 1 0. So you may want to kind of play around with that too. Kind of figure out where you're going to do all this stuff through the tune as a cover. And then that lick, actually, there's this cool little walk down actually later on where you go to what would have been 5th fret, but it's really 7th fret. And you can kind of go 5th on the B, 5th on the E, and then walk it down to 4 on the B, 4 on the high E, and then 3rd frets, and then kind of go down to 2nd frets on the B and E. And if you kind of throw in an open A, kind of before each of those, that could be kind of a cool way to kind of work that descending line that kind of turns up later on. Or there's another, you could kind of follow that A note on the G string, 2nd fret, 1st fret on the G, open G, and then kind of go to 4th fret on the D string is kind of a little chromatic thing. Or you could kind of arpeggiate that and go open A, 2nd on the D, 2nd on the G, open on the A, 2nd on the D, 1st fret on the G, open A, 2nd on the D, open G, and then open A, and then we could take that 2nd fret on the D and kind of work it as a slide. So it'd be kind of a cool lick. And then there's another, like, actually there's some really cool electric guitar parts that work around some things called sweeps, and this is just kind of a random idea. And all this is kind of working around that A minor, but you may want to kind of think about trying to do sweeps on the A minor. And one way to do that is to start on the O and then kind of do a hammer on with the pinky to the 3rd fret on the A string, and then you can kind of do a downstroke through the chord until you get to the E, and then kind of start doing upstrokes. And then when you hit the A string with the 3rd fret, you can work that as a pull-off. So I'm kind of going open A, hammer on, sweep. To kind of play around with kind of that idea too. Actually, some hits might be kind of cool with kind of a sweep kind of idea on the A minor afterwards. And then we basically be repeating that A minor and kind of working with the licks until we get to our kind of our bridge, and that's where we kind of have the A minor, E flat, A minor, E flat, or we could work that with bass notes with the A bass, E flat with the G bass. Or you can even hold on to the A bass, kind of work it that way. Or you can try the 16th pattern, the A minor, E flat, A minor, E flat. Or you could add basses to that. A minor, E flat. And then there's this really cool lick that comes in right after that. We got open A, third on the A, first fret on the A, and then open A. So we're going 0, 3, 1, 0, and then it kind of comes back 0, 3, 1, 0, 0, 0, and then we go first fret on the D. 0, 3, 1, 1, 1, 0, 1, 0, 3, 1, 0. 0, 3, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, and just like the other licks we were talking about, you might want to kind of work, so try and play around with some ways to kind of work that around the A minor chord. And then there's this crazy little hammer-on lick where you play open A and do a hammer on the first fret and third fret on the A string, and then you can go to second fret on the D string after that. So it's just kind of open the first fret, hammer on, third fret, hammer on the A string, and then you can play second on the D, and then you can do that same idea, and then go to first fret on the D. Might be kind of a cool idea to kind of play around with. And really what I would really kind of think about doing in designing kind of an acoustic cover of this is really kind of thinking of doing little chord stuff, and then kind of try working licks, or working the licks around the chord. And especially if you're thinking of doing this solo, you really have a lot of freedom actually and ways to kind of do it. And at the end, then we kind of have a return to kind of that 0, 3, 1, 0, 0, 3, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1 lick. Play around with that at the very end. It's kind of an outro thing. So, but that's the basics of how you could go through and figure out how to cover Bring Me the Horizon by Pray for Plagues as an acoustic guitar thing. So, good luck!